Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you how I prepare some cauliflower steaks just using a few ingredients. So if you're doing low carb, if you are doing keto, if you just want something different for your sides, especially with a steak, this will be the right way to go. So let's go ahead and begin. And we will begin with the ingredients, which will be 1 head of a cauliflower. And I'm using about a medium sized. It's not very small, but you can also do the small size, or if it's the large head of the cauliflower, then you will need more of the ingredients, okay? So we will need 3/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese, and mine is shredded. You can also use the block if you want to grate it yourself, or also you can use the one that they already sell. I believe it's shaved. I think that's what it's called. But it's like thinner, flat pieces. So you can go ahead and use that one. I couldn't find that one, and I actually really like that one. Then you're going to need 1 cup of mayo. You're also going to need some black pepper, some onion powder or garlic powder, and we will also need some water in a saucepan because we are going to be blanching our cauliflower. So I am using 1 quart of water. We will also need a cookie sheet with some parchment paper. If you don't have the parchment paper, aluminum foil will work fine, but make sure that you spray the aluminum foil so it doesn't stick, okay? So let's go ahead and begin. Our first step is boiling our water. So I have placed my saucepan with the water in a medium heat, and we are going to wait for that to boil. Meanwhile, we are going back to our cauliflower, and I'm going to be showing you how I clean it up. Using a small knife, I am going to be cleaning the bottom part of the cauliflower. So very carefully remove the green leaves that the cauliflower head has underneath. So we'll break those apart. And you see what I'm saying? Be careful because then it starts coming off. So if we pull too hard, sometimes it's going to happen, but no big deal. Just make sure that you go careful in those, especially these, because these are sticking to the cauliflower. So you want to make sure you lift it very careful. Okay, now I'm going to go in and I'm going to stick the knife right there, right on this part, on the middle, but you don't want to get to the cauliflower part. So I'm just going to make a cut just like that. Then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to cut again, not on the cauliflower. I'm just doing the stalk. Then I'm turning it again and I'm going to cut again, and you're going to notice that it's going to loosen up. So there, I'm going to cut again, and then you're going to cut again and see how it comes off. So this is what you want to get out. Okay, we're still going to clean more. Okay, so then because we have more space to clean it out, we're going to pull whatever we can pull with our hand. Just like this. Okay, and then just remove the little green that you see there because we don't want any of the green. And if you can't take it off, that's totally fine because we're going to be blanching it and it's probably going to be a little softer. when it's blanched. We're not boiling all the way. So blanching means just a few minutes because we are going to put this in the oven and we don't want any hard cauliflower. Okay, so this is what it should look like. Now let's go ahead and wash it. And then after we wash it, we will start blanching it. Okay, now that the water is at a soft boil, we are going to add the cauliflower and very carefully just add it head down, okay? So you want to do this, okay? Then you're going to cover it and you're gonna leave it for about 4 minutes. Sometimes it could go 5 because I don't like my cauliflower too hard. Alexa, please set a timer for 4 minutes.
Second timer, 4 minutes, starting now. Do you want to name this timer?
Let's go ahead and do 1 more minute. Okay, after 5 minutes, it should look like this. So it changes the color a little. Instead of being like a very solid white, it kind of looks like more like a yellowish white. Okay, now I'm going to let some cold water run. And I'm going to put my cauliflower here to drain it. There you go. And then we're going to just let it cool off for a little bit because you don't want to burn your hands. And also you want any excess water to come off. If it still has a lot of water, what I do is that I pat it dry, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes once it has cooled down. And while our cauliflower cools down, we are going to start mixing. So I will begin with the mayo. So I'm gonna pour everything into a bigger bowl. Okay, then I'm going to add the cheese. And I'm going to be adding half a teaspoon of black pepper. Then I'm going to do half a teaspoon of the onion powder. And remember, if you don't have onion powder, you can do garlic powder, but don't do salt. Don't do the garlic salt. And if you notice, I'm not using any salt, and that is because the mayo already has a lot of salt and the Parmesan cheese has a lot of salt as well. So now we're going to mix. Just make sure everything mixes very well. And this shouldn't be runny. It should be more like a pasty, like a paste, because we're gonna be topping our steaks with this. So you don't want any runny mixture. Okay, this is what it should look like a paste. Okay, so now our cauliflower has cooled down a little bit, and I'm gonna start patting it dry because I do feel like it has a little bit of excess water. So all you do is very gently put your paper towel right on top and kind of like hug the cauliflower head, and you will see how much water comes off. See? So you don't want all this water on your cauliflower. And then you can flip it, and it shouldn't be falling apart if it's blanched the right way. If you overdid it, it will fall apart. That's when you know that you overcooked it. Blanching is only a few minutes, and that's going to help cut it very easy. Okay, so here we go. So I removed as much water as I could, and now I'm going to start cutting it. And I'll be using just a regular big knife. And we will begin with, so pick your side. I'm going to begin with this side. There's no perfect side to begin. Just start cutting. So I'm going to cut right down here. And there's our first one. Don't worry about the little pieces, they're from the bottom. So then cut another one. Then we're gonna cut another one. So you should be able to get about 5, okay, with this size of cauliflower, okay? These pieces did fall apart, but don't worry, I'm gonna show you what I do, okay? So I'm going to grab my cookie sheet, and I'm going to very gently grab the first one, and I'm going to place it here, right on top of the parchment paper, okay? So if a piece fell off, just make sure to grab it, and we're going to add it to the end, okay? Then you're going to grab the next one, and you will do the same. Okay, this one looks perfect. Okay. Then I'm going to grab the next one. Okay. So if you see like this one here has a little gap, just try to fill it with the piece of the cauliflower so you don't waste any of the cheese, because that mixture is so good. So here we go. I'll do this one. And then these pieces, don't worry about it. Just, I guess, eat them. Okay. So here, I will zoom a little so you guys can see. Make sure you preheat your oven to 350. Okay, so I am going to start adding the mixture. So I'll be doing a dollop to each, just to measure that I'm going to, just to measure the amount that I'm gonna be doing to each. So I don't have any leftover, or any of these are missing any of the mixture. So, like I said, this mixture is for 1 head of cauliflower. That's about a medium size. It is perfect measurement. And you can see there. Now we're just going to spread over the steak. And don't be afraid to use both hands. You are going to get the mixture on your fingers, but that's okay. But you want to make sure you coat the whole steak of the cauliflower. Okay? And the reason for that is because once it's fully cooked, you are going to see that it's going to change color. This is going to turn like into a crispy, let me adjust the camera. This is going to turn into like a crispy topping, but it's going to be so full of flavor and very low carb. I believe each steak has about, I want to say like about 2 carbs maybe, or maybe less, because cheese hardly has carbs, cauliflower hardly has carbs, and mayo hardly has carbs. Okay, so these are ready. This is what I was talking about, the brown crust on the top. I just set up the oven to preheat and didn't even notice that it was not 375. So I did had to add like about 6 more minutes, which it was almost 20 minutes, but these should be ready within 12 to 14 minutes if you set it to 375, because it is going to be hotter. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a try. It's a delicious recipe the whole family will like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And thank you for liking and watching, and I will see you on my next one. Goodbye.